What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be getting into my Week 14 NFL Power Rankings. Crazy, man. This season has flown by. But anyway, let's get into the rankings. Starting with number 32, the Houston Texans. Another bad loss this week to the Browns. Just not enough talent on this offense. This is one of the worst offenses in the league, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. Going on to number 31, we're going to have the Chicago Bears dropping down 2 spots this week. So the Bears, they were leading for most of that game against the Green Bay Packers. I don't really know what to think about the Bears right now. They're definitely better than the Texans. These next 4-5 teams or whatever are very close to rank. But yeah, Justin Fields is basically carrying this offense. The defense is not good really at all. Got a few bad breaks at that end there, and that's why they lost the game, unfortunately, to the rival, the Packers. But yeah, the Bears just do not have enough talent on this roster to be a very competitive team. Going to number 30, we have the Denver Broncos dropping down 2 spots. Another frustrating week for this offense. They can't even, outscore Tyler Huntley and the Ravens, which Lamar Jackson got injured. It's just a mess in Denver. Really nothing else to say about it. I mean, the defense continues to ball out, but it really does not matter if the offense plays like this. They got to figure things out. Going to number 29, we have the Carolina Panthers jumping up 2 spots. Sorry. The Panthers on bye. I just was not impressed by the Broncos. I do think they probably didn't. They deserved to jump ahead of the Bears last week anyway. So I'm going to put the Panthers at 29. Going to number 28, we have the LA Rams. Actually going to be jumping up 2 spots. They stay competitive against the Seattle Seahawks. Nearly won that one, actually. The defense played well against Geno Smith and the Seahawks. This is just a well-coached team, and they're missing a lot of pieces here. Now they had Baker Mayfield. I honestly don't even think that's really going to help them out that much. He's just played horrible this season. I mean, Sean McVay maybe can get the best out of him, but I don't really think so here. Just, they have a lot of talent, but unfortunately all that talent is injured. So the Rams it's been depressing for them right now. All right, so that is the bad tier. Let's go on to the decent tier. Starting at number 27, we're going to have the Indianapolis Colts. Going to be dropping down a spot this week. The Colts at 4-8-1 right now. Just, they've stayed competitive through all these games until this one in the last final quarter. What did the Cowboys score? Like 33 points in that fourth quarter against them? That is just insane. But yeah, the Colts, they stayed decently enough competitive. I think a lot of people are forgetting about the first 3 quarters of that game because they were hanging in there with the Cowboys. Jeff Saturday is a great coach, but clearly the lack of talent on the offense and the defense caught up to them, and Matt Ryan made some mistakes. So, yeah, I still think the Colts are a competitive team, but at 4-8-1, just things aren't going great. Let's go to number 26. We have the Atlanta Falcons jumping up a spot. The Falcons at 5-8, really just jumping up because of the Colts dropping down here. Yeah, I don't really believe in the Falcons, so I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's just clearly lack of talent, but Arthur Smith's making the best out of it on the offensive side of the ball. They got a few pieces on the defense that they can build off of for the future. Unfortunately, the Bucs did not lose to the Saints in a crazy game that would have kept them in the mix, only half a game back if the Bucs lost, but they didn't. And the Falcons, I don't really think they're going to make the playoffs over the Bucs this year. Going to number 25, we have the New Orleans Saints staying at the same spot here. The Saints are just you look at the past couple weeks, this team's played better. The defense in the Niners game played great, against the Bucs, played great until that final 2 drives where the Tom Brady just marched down the field and won that game basically. The offense, I just look at this offense and I think this is an offense that just cannot finish off games and cannot finish off drives. It's just been that way for the past couple weeks, and you can't win in the National Football League if you cannot finish off the game. You got to be able to, you're going to be up some games, so you got to be able to finish it. And the Saints just were not able to do that, and they've basically eliminated themselves from playoff contention right now. It's unfortunate, but it is the truth for New Orleans. Let's go to number 24. We have the Arizona Cardinals dropping down a spot. They're on bye week this week. Just one more team that I was more impressed with that jumps up. Number 23, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars dropping down 4 spots here. Yeah, the Jaguars just got steamrolled by the Detroit Lions this week. I thought this game was going to be a good one, but the Lions defense, we'll get to the Lions later. But the Jaguars, just clearly the defense is not good really at all. Really got beat up by the Lions in that one, and it just was not enough to win this one for the Cardinals and for the Jaguars. And then the offense just did not have enough to do it. But yeah, my opinion really doesn't change in the Jaguars. Just dropping down 4 spots. It needed to be done after a bad week. Going to number 22, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers staying at the same spot. If you look at the Steelers in this roster, it's not good. It is not good, but Mike Tomlin, man, such a good head coach. He's turned this around the past couple of weeks. They beat the Falcons. They beat the Colts a couple of weeks ago, and all of a sudden, the Steelers right back in the mix. Kenny Pickett's looked solid for the Steelers. I do like Pickett. He's playing good. This defense is well coached. Ever since TJ Watt comes back, you can clearly see the defense that we're used to for the Steelers. And if Mike Tomlin is able to get a winning season out of this roster, wow. I mean, he hasn't had one in like 14 years, but this would be the biggest one at 3-7 just a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that would be crazy for Mike Tomlin, but just a heck of a team down there in Pittsburgh. Going to number 21, we have the Green Bay Packers dropping down a spot. The Packers at 5-8. They were able to beat the Bears, but really, my opinion doesn't change on the Packers. The defense is not good. Really just showed on multiple occasions that they can get ran over by the Bears in that one, like they have basically the past 2 weeks. But offensively, Aaron Rodgers clearly, hanging around there, just making good plays. Christian Watson's been very good. And the Packers are hanging around in the playoff mix. Now they probably would have to win out and have a bunch of craziness happen for them to make it. But I'm not saying it's not a possibility for the Packers to slide in. All right, let's go to number 20, the last team in this decent tier. The Cleveland Browns are going to be jumping up 4 spots. This is just because Deshaun Watson's back. Last week I didn't bump them up because he wasn't. We didn't get to see him. But Watson just did not really look good this game. But I was expecting that. He hasn't played football in, 2 years? So you can't really blame him. And he's playing the Texans there. We're going to have to see. More information comes in about Watson. We'll see if he plays better. This is probably a better game to come back in. This team's 5-7. There is hope if Watson can play great and this team can win 5 straight games, 10-7. You never know if they can slide into the playoffs from that. All right, so that is the decent tier. Also, that defense for the Browns has started to play much better. But let's go to the in the hunt tier now. Going with number 19, the New York Giants, going to be dropping down 2 spots this week. They were able to get a tie over the Commanders, but I honestly think that feels more like a loss for the Giants. I feel like they really needed to win this game in order to make the playoffs. And a tie, I just don't really think helps them because now they're going to have to go to Washington in their next performance. I honestly don't think this Giants team is going to make the playoffs when it's all said and done. But this is a very well-coached team with Brian Daboll. We know this. Good defense. And this team maybe can slide in. But I'm not sure about that right now. We'll see what happens with New York. Going to 18, we have the Detroit Lions staying at the same spot here at 5-7. Yeah, the Lions been very. I mean, the most important thing about this, they are staying at the same spot, but they're going into the decent tier here. I mean, in the hunt tier, so that's big for the Lions, and they're very close to going into the playoff tier, even though they're very far away from it. But anyway, they are 5-7. They just steamrolled the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sorry, the Jacksonville Jaguars in that game. Um, Taylor Heineke, I mean, Jared Goff clearly has looked very much better than I was anticipating over the past few weeks. This offense has played pretty darn solid over the past few weeks. It's been consistent. It's been a consistent unit all year. The defense, though, has been stepping it up lately. This team is able to, find some pieces on that defense and able to turn this around, which was clearly their problem early on in this year. And they're starting to win games. You never know. Maybe the Lions can slide into the playoffs right now. It is tight. We'll see what happens. But big week for the Lions to come up into the in the hunt here. Let's go to number 17. We're going to have our first playoff team, the Washington Commanders, going to be dropping down a spot here. The Commanders, Taylor Heineke is Taylor Heineke. We all know this. He's finding ways to win. He battled back in that one. He's going to make some mistakes, but he battled back and he, just find a way to tie that game. And that's all that matters. This Commanders defense has played much better. Basically ever since Heineke has started. And you like to see that if you're a Commanders fan. I do think that this Commanders team is, just average at best. And that's why they're a playoff team with a lot of teams disappointing this year. So that's really why the Commanders, I do think, are a number 17 team. They're just a very well-coached team right now. They're just a solid football team. Let's go to number 16. We have the New England Patriots dropping down 2 spots here at 6-6. Frustrating week for the Patriots against the Bills. This offense was looking to gain some things after the Vikings game, and then it just came back down to earth against the Bills. It's just such an inconsistent offense that you really don't know what you're going to get from New England, if I'm going to be completely honest. I do think this New England team is solid, especially defensively. I know they haven't shown it the past couple of weeks, but I do trust Bill Belichick can prove that this defense is great. Mac Jones has got to be better, though. He's got to be more consistent because he did not play good, but then he played very solid against the Vikings, so I really don't know what to do with the Patriots right now. I'm just going to drop them down 2 spots at number 16. Let's go to number 15. We have the Las Vegas Raiders jumping up 6 spots. So the Raiders have really started to find some more consistency, and they're finally able to win these football games. They play the Chargers this week. They were able to get the job done. You really like to see that if you're a Raiders fan. I do like what the Raiders have done with Derek Carr and this offense over the past weeks. Josh McDaniels got a lot of hate earlier this year. He's starting to figure some things out. This offense has been much better. Josh Jacobs, obviously a great running back. And the defense also has stepped it up. Max Crosby, such a great player. The defensive line especially, the whole defensive line's played much better. It's still not a good defense, but they are stepping it up. So the Raiders starting to get a little bit more like that team that I thought of at the beginning of the year. They've gone from like the 31st team, 3 weeks ago, all the way back up to 15. So congratulations for the Raiders. Going on to number 14, we have the Baltimore Ravens dropping down 4 spots. Oh, that's the Titans. My bad. There's the Ravens. So, yeah, the Ravens, Tyler Huntley comes in. Lamar Jackson's going to miss 1 to 3 weeks. So, that is rough for the Ravens. Without Lamar Jackson, this offense is based off of Jackson. Huntley, although in the past, Huntley's been able to prove that he can play good football. And I do believe in John Harbaugh that he's going to be able to get a good game plan for Huntley. The offense struggled against the Broncos, but, now that they're going to get a week to, play with Huntley, I do think that this is a very well-coached team. They're going to be able to figure things out. But, yeah, clearly the the Ravens just a struggling team. Offensively, it's just inconsistent, even with Jackson in. And it's just hard to see. We're gonna have to see how Huntley looks with him in. And if this is sustainable. Huntley's a solid backup. I'm just not sure what the Ravens. I do like this defense, though. They have stepped it up. And they're gonna sit at number 14, dropping down 4 spots. Let's go to number 13. We're going to have the LA Chargers. Going to be staying at the same spot this week. The Chargers at 6-6 right now. I'm just not sure about the Chargers. This defense has just not been good. It's just not been a good defense. Let's be honest. They've spent a ton of money on that side of the ball, but they've gone injuries, and it's just frustrating for the Chargers. And then Justin Herbert's doing his best to carry this team right now. I just don't think it's going to be enough, though, I don't know, man. The Chargers are a tough team to predict right now. I do really like this is just a Justin Herbert show. It's just been an underwhelming Chargers team this season, and they proved it again this week against the the Raiders. Very hard team to rank, but I'm going to put them at number 13 right now, just in the playoff tier. All right, let's go to number 12. We're going to have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to be jumping up 3 spots. The Buccaneers sit at 6-6 right now. So you got to feel happy about the Buccaneers on that. Brady just battled back against the Saints. He battled back. They were down basically all of that game. And the Buccaneers were able to figure it out. They played solid defense the past couple of weeks. They played very solid defense. And Tom Brady is just going to keep battling to keep his team in the playoff race right now, to keep his team alive. That's what Tom Brady's doing, and it's working for the Buccaneers right now. They're 6-6 right now. They're a solid football team. I'm going to be jumping up 3 spots. Yeah, I do think the Buccaneers can be a solid team. Let's go to number 11, though. We're going to have the New York Jets jumping up a spot at 7-5 right now. The New York Jets just have an excellent defense. This is just clearly, Sauce Gardner kind of struggled against Justin Jefferson in this game, but Justin Jefferson's just such a good wide receiver. You can't really blame him for that. I'm just not entirely sure about this New York Jets program. They got the weapons down here. But Mike White, I just don't know how sustainable this is going to be with him as your quarterback. We're going to see, man. The Jets have a great defense, and we'll see if Mike White can carry this offense. It's a solid offense, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. Then a very similar team up at number 10. We're going to have the San Francisco 49ers going to be dropping down 3 spots. Yeah, the 49ers lost Jimmy Garoppolo for the season. I'm not sure about playoffs, but for the regular season, he is out. So now they have to roll with Brock Purdy at quarterback, which is rough. I am not sure how good he's going to do. He did play solid against the Miami Dolphins. I will admit that. I think he's just going to be a game manager type quarterback, just like Jimmy Garoppolo has been, but there's just so much I'm just not sure. He's a rookie. He's going to probably make mistakes. The fortunate thing for him, though, he's coming into a system here in San Francisco that is that's a quarterback-friendly system. That's not a very good quarterback, with Shanahan's scheme. This is a great offense here. And, he just needs to be one of the 11 guys. This defense is also elite. But I do think this team deserves to drop out of the contender tier because of the Purdy situation. And right now, we'll see if the Niners are going to be enough to battle through that Purdy situation. All right, let's go to number 9. We're going to have the Tennessee Titans staying at the same spot here. Tennessee Titans are sitting at 7-5 right now. The Titans, just a frustrating week. They lose to the Eagles, kind of regretting moving on from Brown now, huh? But Ryan Tannehill just clearly he's just not gonna help your team. He's just not gonna be, gonna elevate your team in any way. He's still Ryan Tannehill, so he's gonna struggle. I do think that this Titans defense is still good. I do think that's this defense still legit. I know that they fall this week. But yeah, I do think this defense is still legit. They come up against a very good Eagles team. This problems with the secondary, the Eagles attacked it, and it proves that this defense isn't perfect for the Tennessee Titans. But I do think that Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry, this is just a fluke. We've seen it. But I just don't think this team is going to be consistent enough to go to a Super Bowl. And that's why I do think that they should drop out of the contender tier. All right, let's go to number 8, though. We're going to have the Seattle Seahawks jumping up 3 spots at 7-5 right now. Big win for Geno Smith and the Seahawks over the Los Angeles Rams. Smith was finally able to prove that he can lead his team on a game-winning drive. I believe that is his first one as a Seattle Seahawks. He's had a few opportunities, but just couldn't get it done. But the Seahawks, just Geno Smith, he's been such a great quarterback for the Seahawks. He's been a top 5 quarterback right now. And honestly, people should just stop doubting him at this point. There's no reason to believe that he's going to stop doing this. And he's just playing so great. And with some of these teams dropping down, especially the 49ers losing Garoppolo for the year, this NFC West race has gotten way more interesting. Could the Seahawks win it? I do think that they can. We'll see if they will, though. I do think that the Seattle Seahawks with this defense can be a little bit questionable. They gave up 23 points to the Rams this week, so not a very good offense in LA. It has problems right there, but I do think that Pete Carroll can turn it around like he has earlier this year. And Seattle's legit. People should stop questioning Seattle. This is a legit team, especially that offense. But anyway, let's go to the contender tier now. Starting with number 7, we're going to have the Minnesota Vikings. Jumping up a spot, the Minnesota Vikings just handled their business this week against the New York Jets. Just continue to just prove that they can win games right now. That's really what the Vikings are doing here. Kirk Cousins playing like a good quarterback here. Justin Jefferson, an excellent player, wide receiver. Dalvin Cook, a good running back. The defense is good enough to win games for them, and they're just finding ways to win. And you cannot underestimate that fact for the Minnesota Vikings. And right now, they're basically locked in, in the playoffs. They just need one more win. The Detroit Lions, if they beat the Lions, they've officially clinched it. We'll see if they can do that this week. But the Vikings, they're a good football team here. And I can see the Vikings winning a Super Bowl the way they're playing. Anyway, let's go to number 6. We're going to have the Miami Dolphins, a frustrating week for them. Not the Cowboys. Going to be dropping down 3 spots at 8-4 right now. Yeah, Miami's just kind of Ryan Tannehill Tua Tagovailoa just kind of struggled against the 49ers. It's because it was his worst game this season. Worst game I've seen him play in a long time. But I still trust Tua. It's just one bad week. You cannot judge him just for that. I may have been a little bit too high on the Dolphins here. But I do trust that the Dolphins are going to be a solid enough football team moving forward. You're going to have some of these hiccups for the Dolphins. Every team does. And how is the Dolphins going to respond from it? We'll see how Tua responds. I do believe that's Tua's first loss when he is playing a full game. So that's rough. But this Miami Dolphins offense is explosive. This defense has some worries here, but we're going to see if they can step it up. So the Miami Dolphins are going to sit at number 6. Let's go to number 5. We're going to have the Cincinnati Bengals jumping up a spot, beating the Kansas City Chiefs this week Wow, the Cincinnati Bengals, their offense has just completely flipped, took a U-turn ever since Zach Taylor, changed his scheme to more of a spread offense that fits Joe Burrow's. And this offense is, um, what's the word? Um, what the offense is good at, not what they were bad at earlier with the Shanahan system. The Bengals, just a very explosive offense here. I still have problems with this defense. It's not a great defense, but they have stepped it up, man. The Bengals defense has played much better than anticipated. This is a good team here. And 1 through 5 here, I honestly could flip around either way. The Bengals may be at 5 right now, but they have played very good. Do not sleep on Joe Burrow's squad. Because of a bad first start to the year, this team is legit, and they have clearly figured things out. But let's go to number 4, though. We're going to have the Dallas Cowboys jumping up a spot at 9-3. The Cowboys, what a big-time win against the Colts. We're letting the Colts hang around in there for a while, but then they just completely obliterated them in that fourth quarter. The Cowboys are just a very very complete team, honestly. Defensively, offensively, this team can win in a lot of ways, and it shows from each week to week. This Cowboys team is good, and they should not be slept on in the playoffs. I know this team has a history of not doing good in the playoffs. This could be their year where they do great. They are behind on the Eagles right now. It's going to be tough. Can they pass them? We'll see. But the Cowboys right now, I do think, are number 4. They're just a very good football team. Going on to number 3, we're going to have the Philadelphia Eagles. Going to be jumping up a spot at 11-1 right now. The Eagles, this team just can beat you in so many ways. It's proven it time and time again. And now that run defense stepped it up against Derrick Henry this week, so my main issue on the Eagles really just prove, they can pass defend. They can run defend, even though that might be the weakest of it. They can throw the football. They can run the football, with whether that's with Hurts or it's with their running backs. This team is just so complete right now. It's just hard to stop. It's just hard to see the Eagles losing to someone other than the teams ahead of them, because this team just can beat you in so many ways, and it's just a recipe for success. This is why this team is 11-1 right now, on top of the NFL. Let's go to number 2, though, and number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Bills finally flip back places, so we have our number 1 team right here in the Bills, the best team in the league, in my opinion, with Josh Allen. Josh Allen has been inconsistent, but, with the win over the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chiefs with the loss, and then they look good against the Patriots. His defense has stepped it up. I do think it's right to flip it back. The Bill, that was the first time that I've had a team other than the Bills at number 1 was last week. I really do like this Bills team, whether it's defensively, offensively. This team can beat you in so many ways. But the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is excellent. He's the best quarterback in the league. But now we're starting to see some defensive issues for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that is why I am a little bit worrisome on the Chiefs here. Could I see them dropping below the Philadelphia Eagles soon? I do. It's just one bad week for the Kansas City Chiefs, so you shouldn't go. Well, they didn't even really play bad against the Bengals. It's just the Bengals were the better team. But yeah, it's just one loss. I do think the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes are going to be able to turn this around. But anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your power rankings. And anyway, peace out.